Need in there, baby? Lunch money? House keys? Driver's license?
I can't believe I left the house. I never forget my purse.
Yeah.
Must be getting absent-minded in your old age.
Well, it's nice every once in a while to be able to come to your rescue. You can always blame it on Heather.
Me?
Yeah, forcing all that champagne on my wife last night. Shame on you. Blew a couple brain cells.
Hey, that champagne wasn't my idea.
What do you mean?
Rod was there, too.
Well, don't get me wrong. Come on, live it up. You're getting married. It's the best excuse for a party I ever heard. Though there are others. Things are going great for me in the business, finally. There's this big shot named Tad Channing, and yesterday he just bit the dust. You know, one for the good guys.
That's great, Steve. I hope your luck holds up.
Luck, nothing. I tell you, it's a better man who's going to win this one. You have a good day, huh?
Okay. You too.
Yeah, don't worry, I will. Nobody is going to stop me now. It's been a long time since I've been dying to get to work. I'll see you guys. See ya.
See you, Steve. Bye-bye. Sorry, me and my big mouth. I almost told Steve about Tad Channing.
You almost didn't have to say anything because, as they say, a picture speaks without words.
All right, that's it.
Yeah?
That's it. I'm going to tell him the truth. It's better than lying to him outright.
Well, it may make you feel better. It's going to make Steve feel lousy. Something.
From Colorado?
Yes, I talked to Kim last night. They were turning in early. Today's really the rough day. It starts with a at dawn.
And Kim experiencing any bad effects from the trip so far?
Physically, no, David, but she was nervous. I could tell that, even though she was trying not to sound nervous. Just wish I was out there and could at least give her some moral support. Dr. Hughes.
Dr. Hughes, Averill Hobson.
Yes, Mr. Hobson.
I've been trying to reach your son, Tom. Is he there?
Well, you know he isn't. He's in Colorado with my wife and daughter.
Oh, still on that wild goose chase. Well, I need to talk to him. It's quite important. So will you have him call me right away if he calls you?
Mr. Hobson, I don't know why you assume it's a wild goose chase. You might be surprised by what they find out there.
I doubt that, Dr. Hughes. I really do doubt that.
I can't just feel it. Dear God.
Nothing's been moved, Kim.
I know, I can see that.
You okay? What, are you remembering something?
It's all here. It's just all mixed up. Doug and the crystal cylinder and tearing at my dress. It's all
Tom, listen. Why don't you start with me?
No, it's here. It's here. It's just, I just put it together. It's
Honey, please.
Doug and the blood and the dress and I'm gonna remember this time.
The world turns. This portion brought to you today by Zest, the deodorant bar that rinses without leaving a sticky soap film, so you feel really clean. And by Crest, the makers of new tartar control Crest in the silver box.
To tell you the truth, Mr. Hobson, I think your whole case against my wife is offensive and ridiculous.
Well, I see that hot tempers run in the Hughes family, Doctor.
I'll give my son your message.
Please do. It's quite important that he gets it. Bye now. Well, where were we?
So, Kim and Franny have returned to the scene of their crime. Probably to invent more lies.
Lies won't work in front of a jury, Miss Talbot. Not even a friendly jury. I guess you know that Judge Fielding denied my request for a change of venue.
I'm glad. Oh, I understand why you wanted to move the trial away from Oakdale, Mr. Hobson, and I'm sure it would have made your job easier. But it's poetic justice, somehow, that Kim will be proved a murderess in front of all her friends and family.
Yes, well, now that's exactly what we must make sure happens, which is why I want to rehearse some of the questions I assume you'll be asked on the stand.
Don't worry. Tom Hughes won't shake me.
Don't underestimate him, Miss Talbot. He can come on like gangbusters in a courtroom when he's out to impress a jury.
I'll be ready. There's only one thing I'm living for now. Only one thing I've been living for ever since I saw Douglas lying dead on the floor of his bedroom. I won't let you down.
I don't think you will. Well, Miss Talbot, you were with Kim Hughes when she thought her husband and Kevin Gibson had been killed in the explosion on the path to the mill house. Will you tell us what was her reaction?
I knew then she was planning on murdering Douglas. Poor Douglas. Lying upstairs, completely defenseless, at their mercy. Douglas, who had no idea the woman he idolized was planning to kill him in cold blood.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, Miss Talbot, if you would tell us, please, when was the next time you saw the defendant, Kim Hughes?
I remember
What, Franny?
I
Say whatever it is that comes into your head. Just say it.
remember standing right here, and Doug was coming toward me, I think.
What about the crystal cylinder? Do you remember that?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Maybe yes. Maybe I had it.
Maybe isn't good enough. You gotta think. I don't want to put ideas into your head. This has to have actually happened, but you gotta think.
This is the bed curtain that got slashed, isn't it?
Right. You remember this? It's okay. What about this one over here? Remember this?
Blood. Oh, I remember the blood. I remember. Of course you remember the blood. Honey, Douglas was lying on top of you when I stabbed him. It was on my hands. Why was it on my hands? Listen to me, sweetheart. You had fainted. You had fainted. Now, I took Douglas's body off of you and put it on the floor, and then I came back to you, and I rubbed your arms and your hands, and I tried to revive you,
Kim,
sweetheart.
Kim, let's talk about this for just a second. You pulled Douglas off of Franny, off the bed down onto the floor. What were you thinking?
Just that I wanted to get back to Franny.
No, wait a minute. Did you do anything else before you got to Franny?
What are you talking about?
Well, I don't know. Did you go anywhere near the bed curtains?
What are you talking about?
Is it possible? What?
I had to get over Douglas because Franny was on the bed, and I...
What?
That's... You know, maybe
What?
I touched these. Maybe I touched these when I went...
Maybe isn't enough, Kim. What
I
did
must
you?
have done that.
Okay. That could explain the blood. Now, what about those slash marks? Do you have any recollection of that at all? Just take your time.
Another lie.
How many more will I have to tell before it's finally over?
All right, we'll be right here waiting for you. Good, see you. Nolan's found out something. He's coming over to explain. Huh?
Good or bad?
Well, who knows?
Oh, Brian, do you realize Duncan has our whole future in his slimy Scottish hands?
Yeah.
I barely even know this man. I just spent a few hours with him 8 years ago.
Well, unfortunately, at some point during those 8 hours, you married him.
But I don't remember it. Maybe Nolan's coming over to tell us there's absolutely no record in Antibes of my ever marrying Duncan McKechnie. Maybe it's all a big mistake.
Well, if it is, I'm going right over to Lakeview Towers and punch that lying Scotsman in the nose. And my love and I are going to elope. Can't be Nolan already.
Any news?
No news. Nolan's on the way over. Come on in.
Oh, I've had my fingers crossed all night. I think they're stuck this way.
Well, I'm going to take care of a few things so we can celebrate. See you in a bit.
You optimist. He's the most wonderful man that ever lived.
Well, he's up among the top 10 anyway.
How could I have ever doubted him, Harriet? His sticking by me through all this just proves how much he loves me.
I hope you didn't make all this up as some sort of a test.
Of course not, Harriet.
Well, it's just that if it's true, that means you're living here with Brian and your real husband's in a hotel across town.
Don't call him my husband.
Well, what should I call him?
Oh, the sadistic playboy and amoral monster.
Words are right on the tip of my
Who's
tongue.
enjoying every minute of this awful mix-up. Call him anything you like, but he is not my husband.
We hope.
Oh, that was quick. Brian!
Both from around the
Hey, right. So I'm not married to this.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I've got
something.
for you. Now, I know that you've been very anxious. That's why I wanted to come over right away.
Just tell us, please, am I married or not?
My contacts in the south of France checked all the marriage records.
Nothing, right?
And they found a certificate proving that on August 21st, 1978, one Aaron Casey married one Duncan McKechnie in Antibes, France. It's all legal and recorded.
Now, can I refer to him as your husband?
No, Hensley. If anything, things have gotten even more interesting over here. Well, there's the land I told you about. And this morning, I read an article in the City Times about Miss Barbara Ryan. Yeah, well, it seems she's on her way to her first million, and that's just the beginning. Hopefully more riches have just come calling. I'll be in touch with you. You give my love to Beatrice. Well, you find out a reason why I'm not home. Figure something out. I pay you for your ingenuity. Miss Ryan. Please come in.
You sent for me?
I've been counting the hours.
Well, that's interesting considering our last conversation.
Forgive my Scots temper. Please, it wasn't really directed at you. Coffee.
Thank you. Apology accepted.
Well, then perhaps you'll also accept a compliment. You look smashing. I don't count myself an expert on fashion, but I do know what I like.
I think you just made up for the other night.
Would you sit down, please? I just wanted to double-check our arrangement. I plan to stall the annulment as long as possible.
I've been giving it some thought. I think maybe it'd be best if you went back to Europe for a while. I think it would frustrate Brian and Shannon to no end if they had no idea what you were up to or where you were.
I think it'd frustrate them even more if they saw me every time they turned around. Besides, I'm enjoying myself. No, I think I'm going to stay here for a while.
You've obviously made up your own mind.
Since I'm going to be in Oakdale, perhaps you'll agree to have dinner with me so we can get to know each other better.
I thought I told you that we can't be seen in public together.
We'll dine here. It's more intimate. Certainly more private.
I hope you haven't been spending all of your time in Oakdale just in this room. The town has a lot to offer. The botanical garden, the zoo, many theaters.
As a matter of fact, I was out for a walk the other day and I came upon this unusual little island. It was quite romantic, with the ruins of a castle on it. For a moment, I thought I was back on the bunny banks of Loch Lomond.
Oh, I know it well.
Then it wasn't homesickness playing tricks on me. It actually exists.
Absolutely. In fact, it belongs to Brian McCall.
We Shannon's Brian McCall.
You find this funny?
Well, 'tis a very small world, isn't it?
I've got to go. I will see you at Fashions. Okay, you got it. Betsy, you ought to tell Steve about Tad Channing because I might spill the beans. I'm lousy at keeping secrets.
Yeah, me too. See you later.
What's wrong? No, nothing. Weddings. A couple months ago, Sierra's planning ours. Invitations, bridesmaids, flowers. I don't think she got anything that she planned for.
You know, I saw Sierra Antonio and Mona Lisa last night when I
Oh,
came
yeah, you bet. She'll still use any excuse to drag them there.
Why?
Because she knows I still care about her. She likes to watch, you know. She's hoping maybe I'll figure out that I don't stand a chance and then I'll turn elsewhere.
Cinda?
Well, don't look at me that way, Bets. I'm not... She knows when I'm vulnerable, you know? She knows me pretty well, very well. All right, enough. Hey, back to work, woman.
Okay, slave driver.
I gotta call Lisa in New York. Oh, one more piece of advice from Uncle Craig here. I would tell Steve, and I would not wait, because secrets have a way of getting out of hand.
I will.
Stay away from the slime ball creep. You're too honest, baby, to play in this league, huh?
Come in, may I help?
Good morning.
Mr. Channing.
Oh, come on, it's Tad. Anyway, before you have anything to say, I just came by to apologize. Well, I realized how awkward it was when we ran into Heather and Roy last night. I gather that Steve has told you that Mike is back on the job for Andropolis Construction?
Well, yes, he did. I guess that's proof you meant what you said, Mr. Tad. Thank you.
Thank you, Betsy. You know, for the first time in a long time, I'm starting to see things clearly. Iva doesn't want me in her life. I've lost her.
Well, I'm truly sorry about that.
No, it's my own fault. I should have gotten a divorce long ago. Still, it always hurts to lose somebody that you love. I hope your new boss has got what it takes to keep her happy. I gather she's hung up on him now.
I'd rather not talk about that.
I do admire your loyalty. Anyway, I'm thinking of splitting back to L.A., kind of go home and lick my wounds, so to speak.
Well, what about the skyscraper project for Lucinda Walsh?
Well, I could appoint a supervisor, but it might be simpler just to recommend a new builder to Lucinda.
Well, good luck with whatever you intend to do.
Thank you.
Betsy, I can't find the Henderson, but...
Good morning. I'll tell you about my plans later.
All right.
Good day.
Goodbye.
Plans? What plans? What is he?
Nothing.
Huh?
Nothing. He was actually very nice. Craig, I kind of feel kind of sorry for the guy. He's lost Iva. He divorced his
Betsy,
wife.
come on, knock it off. Don't waste your sympathy on him. He doesn't deserve it. Don't trust him, Bets.
You be home for dinner tonight?
Going out there.
I'd like to invite Betsy and Steve over.
Good idea. I've hardly seen my granddaughter since I've been back.
Speaking of granddaughters, have you heard from Emily?
No. I called Susan last
Well, we
night.
appreciate the effort.
It's been so long since Emmy left home. I'm
I know
really
Tom
starting
does,
to
too.
get frightened.
I got on the phone with Susan myself. I was hoping that
Listen, when you get back
she wouldn't give me the runaround. Well, I was right. She admitted that she'd been living with a man that Emily couldn't get along with.
Susan just never should have been a mother, I guess. Simple as that.
I promise you, I'll be home to dinner on time.
Well, have a safe trip.
Bob, we gotta go.
I gotta go, Margot. Okay, bye-bye, thank you. It was Margot. She's out in Colorado, too. She's just about to leave Boulder.
But did Tom know that Margot was going to be there?
I don't think so. I gathered that they saw each other at the mill house. She was just calling to tell me that she saw Franny and Kim, too, and that Kim is fine.
Oh, thank goodness.
I wonder how it went between Tom and Margot. I wish he didn't have this divorce hanging over his head while he's trying to defend Kim. That's a tough thing for anybody to take care of and deal with. Shall we go?
Yeah, we're getting a late start.
Honey, I'm sorry, but the last thing I remember is Doug turning away from me and saying Kim's name. It's the last thing.
Okay. Kim, logically, if Franny had passed out and you came in the room and Doug saw you, he would have gotten up off the bed, right?
Remember.
He would have been right about here in between these two bed curtains, right?
He kept attacking her. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry.
It's all right, it's all right. I know you're trying. If it didn't happen that way, it didn't happen that way.
I know I'm not helping.
Best way for you to help Kim is to keep telling the truth. Your honesty is the best defense we have. That is what's going to convince the jury. Listen, I have another suggestion if you two are up to it.
That's why we're here.
Good girl. Listen, I want to reenact this, okay? I want you to get up on the bed, and I want you to be in as close to the position you were in with Douglas as you can possibly remember, all right? Okay? I'm going to take Kim outside. Give us about 30 seconds or so. And then I want you to scream. Can you handle that?
Yeah.
Sure? Okay. Kim, come with me.
Okay. Okay.
This portion of As the World Turns has been brought to you today by Ultra Pampers. Even when they're wet, they're dry. And by Sure. You can raise your hand if you're sure, because Sure Antiperspirant helps keep you dry. We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment. And now, part 2 of As the World Turns.
All right, listen. Take it slow, one step at a time. If you forget something, just give it a chance to come back.
Hey, I'm not going to hurt you.
Sheriff Cummers, what are you doing here?
I'm sorry, Mr. Hughes. I just came in from the back to tell you the copter's back.
It's okay.
I know. It's for a second I thought.
I understand. I understand. It's okay.
Tom, Tommy.
What? What? You remember something?
Yes, when I came to, I was exactly in this position, and Kim was holding me, and I didn't know where Doug was, and I was afraid that he would come back. But Kim said that it was all right, so I started to get off the bed. like this,
Honey,
and that's when I
You've
saw
got to get her out.
No,
his
this
body.
might be it. Let her give her a chance.
Doug's body.
Give her a chance.
No,
pushing her
no,
so
no,
much.
no. I feel like I'm so close. It's getting clearer now. It all became so much clearer when I thought that the sheriff was Doug. Tommy, maybe the sheriff could be Doug again.
Franny.
Maybe he could pretend to be Doug.
Okay.
It might help bring it back.
Okay, all right. Listen, would you mind?
Be glad to help any way I can. What exactly did you want me to do?
So, you maintain that Douglas Cummings was harmless when Kim Hughes stabbed him?
Yes.
Well, surely a man who had already murdered 3 people might be considered a threat.
He was in a deep state of depression, incapable of any physical action.
And how could he have attempted to rape Franny Hughes?
He couldn't have. That's the point.
Kim Hughes walked into that room and saw him attempting it.
She's lying. It couldn't have happened that way.
Franny Hughes testified under oath that Cummings attempted to rape her.
She's lying. They're both lying. They tried to trick him. Franny dressed up in Caroline's clothes. She pretended to be Caroline. She tried to seduce him to make it look like she was being attacked. She and Kim deliberately confused Douglas so that they could murder him in cold blood.
All right. All right. Now, that's good. That's the way we want the story to come out. But calmly and logically. Let's let the facts speak for themselves. That way, Tom Hughes can't shake you up.
It's not a story, Mr. Hobson. It's the truth. And there's nothing Tom Hughes can do about that.
Good. Whatever story they come up with to explain the bed hangings will still be in direct conflict with their original statement. Now, Dr. Hughes was right. They didn't go to Colorado on a wild goose chase after all. They went to help me prove that Kim Hughes is lying through her teeth.
Okay, now don't worry. You won't hurt me.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. I want you to grab my wrists and don't let me get up. Just struggle with me, okay? I'm trying to reach it, but I can't. It's too far. Now turn away from me and say Kim.
Kim.
Kim, I want you to do exactly what you remember doing that day.
Franny was on the bed. She had fainted. Douglas was on top of her, attacking her. I screamed at him to stop. He wouldn't pay any attention to me. I came around here and I tried to reason with him. He didn't pay any attention to me, and I had to do something. He just kept attacking her, so I saw the crystal cylinder, and I picked it up, and I stabbed
Kim,
him.
wait a minute. Are you sure that's the way you stabbed him?
Yes, as far as I can remember.
All right, then we've got a problem. Sheriff, will you stand up for a minute, please? Stand up right here. According to the medical examiner's report, the blade went in at this angle right here. Was it possible in your position, Kim? Kim, how did it happen? What you told me doesn't match the medical examiner's report.
I can't explain. I don't ever want to remember this ever again. I don't ever want to remember it ever again. Doesn't anybody understand that?
Let's call it a day.
You're not having any of those pains, are you?
No, I'm all right. I just know how much you were counting on this trip explain Hobson's evidence, and I'm not helping. I
You
know
just let me worry about preparing your defense. That's my job.
I'm just making it worse.
And
I
we're
know.
gonna find the answers. Look, why don't you two just go get yourselves together. Let's get the hell out of here.
That's a good idea. Come on. Come on. Tell me something.
Why would Kim be lying about this? But she is lying.
I'll find out what he's up to.
I'll
all right?
do my best.
Okay, see you later.
Oh, I cannot believe I am married to that awful man.
Married? Hardly. It was never consummated. Look, with or without his consent, we will find a way to get you legally free of him.
No, Barbara is paying him to stick around and make things as difficult as possible.
Nothing they can do is going to come between us.
Well, at least you know all about me now.
Yeah. I've got to go to an editorial board meeting.
No!
Yeah, I'm sorry. Take care of my girl, okay, Harriet?
Yes. Bye.
Come on.
Where are we going?
Call Lakeview Towers and ask for Duncan.
What, me? Why?
Well, he would recognize my voice. Now, say that you're Tom's secretary. Yes.
Why?
Yeah, make an appointment for him to meet with Tom today.
Tom is in Colorado.
So Tom won't show up. But in the meantime, we will find out that when Duncan isn't going to be there, which means he won't be at the hotel, which means we can search his suite.
What?
Search his suite. Now, I bet there's something there he doesn't want us to find. Something to pressure him into giving me the annulment.
Shannon, hotels have locks. They have security arrangements. The hotel detective.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now dial.
Well, you are interested in Brian's Island, aren't you?
Duncan, do you want me to get that?
I better. Hello.
Mr. McKechnie, I'm calling for Tom Hughes. This is his secretary, and he'd like to arrange an appointment with you for today to discuss the annulment.
I'm not ready to talk.
Oh, I see. Well, Mr. Hughes won't take no for an answer.
Don't get him mad or hang up.
On the other hand, he's perfectly willing to shift his schedule to adjust to your convenience. He would just like a friendly chat.
I don't care what he'd like. I'm on my way out now, and I don't know when I'll be coming back. You tell Mr. Hughes I'll call him if and when I feel like talking to him.
I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but was that Tom Hughes' secretary?
Tom Hughes wants to talk about the annulment today. As you heard, I put him off.
Today? Well, that's impossible. He's in Colorado.
Are you sure of that?
Absolutely sure. He's there with my aunt and my half-sister.
Well, isn't that interesting? Somebody seems to be playing a little game. Well, I like games. Can't wait to find out what this one's all about.
Aren't you glad I came along when I did?
And I hope you'll return for that dinner you promised me. I'm already looking forward to it. Perhaps I'll give you a call later. Shall we go?
We aren't going anywhere together. I already told you we mustn't be seen in public.
Aye. Well, okay. Well, you take the stairs.
Yeah, this for the rest of bailing, okay?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hi, you guys. Where's Danny?
She is as happy as a clam.
Chris is entertaining her, or she him. I'm not quite sure.
Have you heard from Kim and Franny?
Yes, they made it up to Millhouse safely, and Kim seems to be taking it all in stride, and as far as we know, they'll be back tonight. Craig, I like what you've done with your office.
Sure you do, Nancy.
Sweetheart, can you and Steve have dinner with us tonight?
With us? You mean Grandpa's actually leaving the lab before 9 o'clock?
He promised to be home on time, and I told him I was inviting you, so you must say yes.
Okay, well, I'd love to come. I don't know Steve's schedule, but I can give him a call and find out.
Okay.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Steve. What are you doing here?
Ed Brewster came... Well, I only worked half a day today because I had to go into Ed Brewster's office and wasted all this time with the paper pushers.
Well, why? What happened?
Well, you know, the bankers are just nitpickers, you know, so don't worry, no sweat.
You know, Betsy was just going to call you about having dinner at our house tonight.
Oh, well, I tell you what, I lost the whole morning, so I'm going to have to work late tonight. So if you don't mind, I'm sorry.
I understand all too well, believe me. Betsy, I hope you'll be able to come in any case.
Well, I hope so. I'll call you later this afternoon, okay?
Okay.
Ellen, if we're any later for that white sale at Hudson's, the only sheets left will be psychedelic prints. We better go. Bye, you all.
Yeah, it's all good to see you.
Bye.
Craig, can I just...
You know, I just thought of something I have to do.
Perfect, okay.
You know, I'm very glad that you came by, honey, 'cause
Maybe
there's
before we
something
get
I
into
want
anything else, can I just... There's something I just got to get off my chest before I explode. I told you I went into the bank this morning, right? I mean, Ed Brewster wanted to talk to me about my outstanding loan. Well, I'm a little behind on it, but no, baby, it's no big deal. I mean, he knows that I'm good for it. But now suddenly, he's talking to me and he's saying, these big bank customers, Steve, are checking into all our outstanding loans, and I mean, these are mega bucks I'm going to lose if I don't clear up all my outstanding loans. Okay, so, you know, I say, okay, fine, you know, Ed. I walk out the door, and then there they are. Mr. and Mrs. Big Bank customer, Lucinda Walsh and Tad Channing.
Oh, you don't think Lucinda and Tad have anything to do with it?
I know damn well they've got everything to do with it. I mean, I don't know what Lucinda Walsh has against me, but she's obviously got some sick alliance with this guy, and she's throwing all her weight behind him. You know, I think I'm going to rearrange a guy's face just to give him a little warning to lay off.
That's not the right thing to do. You could be wrong.
I'm not taking this
It's
lying
okay.
down, that's all.
It's
You know,
gonna
I swear I'm
Come
not.
on. It's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right.
You really believe that, don't you?
Well, I believe in you.
Oh. You know, you're the one thing in my life that's going right. You and I'm dead. God, I love you.
Well, I love you.
I'm really glad I came by today. All right, what was on your mind now before I so rudely interrupt?
Later.
Oh, success. Sure. Now we can throw us in jail for breaking and entering.
Oh, don't be silly. Thanks to Finger's sister, we are now temporary staff.
Happens to be a jailbird herself. I wish I had never told you she's the housekeeper here.
Start worrying. Start looking.
For what?
Oh, anything that we can hold over Duncan's head. Come on. Yikes.
What?
Look at this.
What is it?
It's Barbara Ryan's numbers. All of them.
Well, so we know she's responsible for getting him here, but that's not going to force McKechnie to give you an annulment.
Oh, you're right.
Aha. What have we here? A map.
My goodness, that's Brian's Island. That's strange. Why would Duncan have drawn that? Hold on to that, Harriet.
Breaking and entering, now stealing. Oh, dear.
That swine. I certainly did. There he was, parading in that little skimpy towel, claiming he had forgotten to pack his robe, and here are 4 perfectly good robes. Liar. Come on, Harriet, help me rifle through these pockets. What's that? Oh, he's back.
The jig is up.
Get in here, quick.
Ryan, come in.
Why would Lucinda have it in for Steve?
It's not Steve, directly. She's got it in for Iva.
But why?
I don't know. I've asked Iva point blank. She keeps on denying it. All I know is that Tad Channing and Lucinda have got an alliance going, and it's got something to do with Iva.
You know, I could have sworn that wasn't an act that he was pulling in here this afternoon.
You didn't tell Steve.
I couldn't, Craig. Not with everything with the bank going on. One more thing would have driven him through the roof. What are you doing?
I'm writing this out to cash.
No, Craig, come on. He's never going to take money from you. You know that.
Betsy, I want you to take this down to the bank, give it to Ed Brewster, all right?
Craig,
I want you to pull it, apply it against the loans that you've got right now, okay? I owe you this. I owe you this and a lot more. You know that.
Great. Great. Now I have 2 secrets to keep from Steve.
It's better than Steve losing his business, isn't it?
Montgomery Associates.
Betsy, guess what? Emily called.
Well, where is she?
She wouldn't say. Oh, I sounded so alone and frightened. It just broke my heart. I wanted to tell her. I told her that she had a home here with us anytime she wanted. I begged her to just come. I told her I wouldn't ask any questions.
Do you think she will?
Yes, I do, because when I offered to wire her money, she said she'd come here on her own. Oh, Betsy, my prayers have been answered.
Well, keep praying, Graham. I can use all the help I can get, too.
All right, darling. I love you with all my heart. Bye-bye.
Wait a minute. Did Tom get my message to call Hobson?
Well, he got the message, but he hasn't made the call. We all decided that we'd much rather talk to you, the district attorney. He'll call Hobson as soon as I get off.
Don't miss your plane.
Not a chance. Love you, darling. Bye-bye. It's all yours.
I can't wait.
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm just discouraged. I came so close to remembering.
Mr. Hobson, it's Tom Hughes.
Counselor, well, it's about time. Successful trip?
Yes. Is that why you called?
No. I just thought that you might like to know that jury selection begins tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
That's right. Well, since you and I almost always long, so a couple of days at most, we'll be into our trial.
Menswear by Barney's New York. Jewelry by Barbara Bay. This is Dan Regent, inviting you to join us again Monday for As the World Turns.